Don't skip. Your person secretly tested your honesty and broke down in tears when they found out. My beloved soul, pause here for a moment and allow yourself to be fully present, because this is not just another message drifting past your eyes. There is intention in this moment, and there is a reason your attention has landed here instead of somewhere else. What I am about to share is not meant to rush you or overwhelm you, but to gently open your awareness to something that has already happened quietly, without announcement, without drama, yet with enormous emotional weight behind it. Your person did something they never spoke about, something they never planned to confess out loud. It was not a test designed to trap you or expose you. It was a test born from hope. Deep inside, they wanted to believe that you are exactly who you appear to be, that your words are not separate from your actions, and that your heart carries the same truth it presents to the world. So they watched, silently, carefully, without interfering, allowing life itself to reveal you. They paid attention to moments that most people overlook. The way you behaved when there was nothing to gain, the way you spoke when no one was trying to impress you, the way you handled situations where honesty was easier to hide than to live by. My beloved soul, these moments mattered more to them than any declaration of love ever could, because real character is revealed in quiet spaces, not in performances. Your person noticed how you treated people who could do nothing for you. They noticed how you responded when things did not go your way. They noticed the integrity you carried even when it cost you comfort. And with every small observation, something inside their heart began to soften, then crack, then open wider than they ever expected. What they were witnessing was rare, and they felt it deeply. At first, they tried to remain composed. They told themselves not to overthink it, not to get carried away, not to assume meaning too quickly. But the truth has a way of repeating itself until it can no longer be ignored. Every time they expected to see inconsistency, they saw steadiness instead. Every time they expected compromise, they saw truth. And slowly, the realization began to settle in that what they were seeing was not accidental. It was who you are. My beloved soul, this realization did not bring excitement first. It brought emotion, a deep, unexpected wave of emotion that caught them off guard. Because in a world where people often wear masks, finding someone who does not is overwhelming. It stirs old wounds, old hopes, and old fears all at once. And when that wave finally broke through their composure, tears came. Those tears were not weakness, they were release. Release of doubt they had been carrying for a long time. Release of fear shaped by past disappointments. Release of the belief that honesty like yours is too rare to be real. In that moment, they felt something sacred, something grounding, something that made their heart feel both exposed and safe at the same time. They cried because they realized they had found something genuine, something they did not want to lose, and something they had been quietly praying for without admitting it. They cried because your honesty did not just impress them, it healed something in them. It restored their belief that real connection is possible without games, without manipulation, without hidden agendas. My beloved soul, you may not have known any of this was happening. You may have been simply living your life, making choices that felt natural to you, not realizing they were being witnessed with such care. But understand this clearly, your honesty was not invisible, it was felt, and it reached someone who needed to see it more than you realize. This is why you may feel a subtle emotional pull now, even without a clear reason. A sense that something meaningful is aligning beneath the surface. Energy moves before words do. Hearts respond before conversations happen. What your person experienced internally is already creating movement that will eventually reach you in the physical world. Do not dismiss this as imagination. Do not minimize the power of quiet moments. Some of the most life-changing realizations happen without witnesses, without announcements, without immediate results. But they shape decisions, timing, and courage in ways that unfold later when the moment is right. Your person is no longer watching with uncertainty. They are holding you in a different place in their heart now, a place marked by respect, trust, and emotional reverence. They are no longer asking themselves if you are real. They are asking themselves how to honor what they have seen without damaging it through fear or haste. This is also why patience matters right now. When something precious is recognized, it is often protected first before it is approached. Your person is processing, integrating, and allowing this truth to settle fully. They do not want to rush into words that might cheapen what they felt so deeply. My beloved soul, if something in your chest feels warm, heavy, or quietly emotional as you read this, allow it. That response is not random, it is resonance. When truth aligns between two souls, awareness begins to ripple on both sides, even before contact is made. If you feel called to acknowledge this moment, you can leave a comment, not for performance, but as an anchor for your awareness. And if staying connected to messages like this helps you remain present and grounded, you may subscribe. These are simple actions, but they help you stay open to what is unfolding instead of letting it fade into doubt or distraction. This is only the beginning of the story. The test has already happened, the realization has already landed, and the emotional shift has already taken place within your person's heart. What comes next will explain how this truth begins to move outward, how it influences their actions, and how you may start to feel its presence more clearly in your own life. For now, remain open, grounded, and gentle with yourself. Your honesty has already spoken louder than words ever could, and it has created something real, something tender, something that is preparing to step forward in its own time. My beloved soul, now that the truth of that moment has been revealed, it is important to understand what followed afterward, because the test did not end with tears. Tears were only the opening of something much deeper. When your person realized the honesty of your heart, they did not rush to act immediately. Instead, they grew still, very still, because when something precious is discovered, the first instinct of a sincere heart is not to grab it, but to protect it. They began to replay moments in their mind, not searching for flaws anymore, but revisiting memories with new eyes. Words you spoke casually suddenly carried weight. Choices you made without thinking now felt intentional. Situations where you could have taken an easier path but didn't became proof of something solid and rare. What once felt ordinary to you became extraordinary to them, simply because it was real. My beloved soul, this is where many misunderstand what happens next. Silence does not always mean distance. Sometimes silence is reverence. Your person did not pull away because they felt less. They pulled inward because they felt more than they were prepared for. When honesty like yours is recognized, it forces someone to confront their own fears, their readiness, and their capacity to love without defense. They ask themselves difficult questions in private. Am I ready to meet this level of truth? Can I show up without hiding? Can I be as real as they are? These questions are not doubts about you. They are reflections about themselves. Your honesty became a mirror, and mirrors can be confronting before they are comforting. You may have sensed this shift energetically, a sudden pause, a subtle distance, a change in rhythm that felt confusing or unexpected. My beloved soul, that pause was not rejection, it was recalibration. Your person was adjusting internally to the realization that what they felt with you was no longer something casual they could ignore or approach lightly. When someone recognizes purity, it demands integrity in response. They could no longer treat the connection the same way they treated others. They could no longer approach it with half-truths, distractions, or emotional shortcuts. And that realization alone carries weight. It slows a person down, not because they are unsure, but because they want to do it right. Your person's tears marked the end of uncertainty, but they also marked the beginning of responsibility. Responsibility to not damage something sincere. Responsibility to not repeat old patterns. Responsibility to rise emotionally instead of retreating into fear. And my beloved soul, growth like this does not happen loudly. It happens internally, often invisibly, before any outward movement occurs. This is why patience is being asked of you now, even if you were not consciously aware of it. The universe often creates space after truth is revealed, not to test endurance, but to allow alignment. When two souls are meant to meet in honesty, timing becomes sacred. Rushing would fracture what patience is strengthening. You may feel moments of longing, curiosity, or even doubt during this phase. That does not mean the connection weakened. It means energy is shifting from observation to intention. Your person is no longer asking, "Is this real?" They are asking, "How do I honor this?" And that question changes everything. My beloved soul, understand this clearly. Not everyone cries when they discover honesty. Some turn away, some sabotage, some run back to what feels familiar. Your person did not do that. They stayed present with the emotion. They allowed it to move through them. That alone shows depth, courage, and sincerity. They began to detach from distractions naturally. Conversations that once held their attention now felt shallow. Interactions that once excited them now felt empty. Not because those things were bad, but because once truth is recognized, illusion loses its grip. Your honesty recalibrated their emotional compass. You may notice that they seem quieter around others, more reflective, less scattered. This is not withdrawal from life, this is focus forming. When someone prepares to approach something meaningful, they conserve energy, they stop wasting emotional resources, they become intentional. My beloved soul, there is also something healing happening in them because of you. Your honesty challenged a belief they carried that love always comes with conditions, games, or disappointment. Seeing you act with integrity in small moments restored something tender in them. It reminded them of who they once hoped to be in love before life taught them to guard themselves. This is why your presence feels safe to them, even from a distance. Safety does not always come from closeness. Sometimes it comes from knowing someone exists who does not deceive, perform, or manipulate. That knowledge alone can change a person's inner world. You are not required to do anything differently right now. There is no action being demanded of you, no performance expected, no proving necessary. Your honesty has already spoken. Continuing to be who you are is enough. Alignment does not require effort, it requires consistency. If at any point you feel UBT creeping in, remind yourself of this. People do not cry over what is insignificant. They cry when something true touches a place they thought was unreachable. Those tears were not momentary emotion, they were recognition. If this understanding is settling into you, you may leave a comment as a way of grounding your awareness. And if staying connected to messages like this helps you remain open and patient during unfolding moments, you may subscribe. These are gentle anchors, not obligations. What comes next will explain how this internal shift begins to express itself externally, how silence turns into movement, and how honesty transforms into action. For now, trust the stillness, trust the processing, trust that something genuine has already taken root. Remain open, my beloved soul. The story is moving forward, even if it has not yet spoken its next word aloud. My beloved soul, as this truth continues to settle, something else begins to unfold quietly in the background, something that is just as important as the tears themselves. After your person recognized your honesty and allowed themselves to feel it fully, they could no longer relate to the connection in the same way as before. What once felt uncertain now feels significant, and significance carries weight. That weight does not rush. It grounds. It asks for reflection before movement. They began to notice how deeply your presence had already influenced them, even without constant contact. Your energy lingered in their thoughts during ordinary moments. Simple tasks reminded them of you. Conversations with others felt less engaging, not because those people lacked value, but because something more meaningful had taken root in their awareness. When honesty is recognized, it changes the hierarchy of attention. My beloved soul, your person is now learning something important about themselves through you. The why are discovering how much they have guarded their heart in the past, how often they relied on emotional distance as protection. Your honesty did not threaten them, but it did challenge that pattern. It asked them to consider a new way of relating, one that does not hide behind caution or control. This is why you may sense a mix of closeness and restraint at the same time. They feel drawn to you, yet careful with their steps, not because they doubt the connection, but because they respect it. Respect slows people down. It makes them want to arrive whole, not fragmented, not reactive, not repeating old habits that could damage something sincere. Your person is becoming aware that if they approach you, it must be from a place of truth equal to yours. They can no longer present a curated version of themselves. They can no longer rely on charm, avoidance, or emotional shortcuts. Your honesty has raised the standard, not through demand, but through example. You may notice that your own inner world is responding to this shift. A quiet sense of readiness mixed with patience. A feeling that something is aligning, even if you cannot yet name it. This is not anticipation rooted in anxiety. It is awareness recognizing movement without forcing timing. My beloved soul, there is also healing happening on both sides now. Your honesty gave your person permission to feel without judgment. And in that permission, they are releasing fears tied to vulnerability. They are realizing that openness does not always lead to loss. Sometimes it leads to safety, connection, and mutual respect. They may replay moments where you chose truth over convenience, integrity over approval. These memories are becoming anchors for them. When doubt tries to whisper, those moments respond louder. They remind your person that what they felt was not imagined, not exaggerated, not fleeting. It was observed, tested, and confirmed. This is also why timing feels different now. The connection is no longer floating in possibility alone. It is rooted in reality, and reality requires intention. Your person is becoming intentional, not impulsive. They are learning to listen inwardly before acting outwardly. My beloved soul, understand this clearly. When someone recognizes honesty at this depth, they often go through a period of inner alignment. They reorganize priorities. They reassess what they are willing to offer and what they are willing to receive. This is not distance for distance's sake. It is preparation. You are not being asked to chase clarity or demand reassurance. You are being asked to remain steady in who you are. That steadiness is what continues to build trust even in silence. True honesty does not collapse under waiting. It strengthens. There may be moments when you wonder if something is being missed or delayed. In those moments, return to this truth. Nothing genuine requires urgency to survive. What is real unfolds with care. Your person's restraint is not hesitation, it is reverence. You may also begin to notice subtle shifts in how they communicate, even indirectly. More sincerity, less distraction, fewer mixed signals. These are signs of internal alignment, not coincidence. When someone chooses truth, it begins to influence how they show up in every area of life. My beloved soul, your honesty did not just touch their heart, it invited them to grow. And growth is rarely instant. It unfolds layer by layer, with reflection, with humility, and with courage. They are stepping into that process now. If at any point you feel uncertainty rising, remind yourself that you did not lose anything. You revealed yourself. And revelation is never a loss when it is met with sincerity. What is meant to grow will grow stronger through this phase, not weaker. If these words resonate, you may ground yourself by acknowledging them. A simple comment can anchor awareness. And if staying connected to this unfolding helps you remain patient and open, subscribing can support that steadiness. These are gentle choices, not obligations. What comes next will reveal how this inner alignment begins to express itself more clearly in action, communication, and shared direction. For now, trust the process that honesty has set in motion. Trust the stillness. Trust the care. Remain open, my beloved soul. The connection has moved beyond testing. It is now entering a phase of intention, and intention always finds its way forward. My beloved soul, as intention begins to take shape within your person, you may start to feel a quiet shift in the emotional atmosphere between you, even if nothing has been spoken yet. This shift is not dramatic or loud. It is subtle, like a steady current beneath still water. What has changed is not the surface of the connection, but its depth. When intention replaces uncertainty, the energy becomes calmer, heavier, and more grounded. Your person is now becoming aware of how much care this connection requires. Not care as in effort or struggle, but care as in mindfulness. They are realizing that what they feel with you cannot be approached casually or handled the way they handled past connections. There is a respect forming that makes them slow down, observe their own motives, and question whether their actions align with the truth they recognized. They may find themselves pulling back slightly from impulsive behaviors, not because they feel restricted, but because impulsiveness no longer feels right. Choices that once felt harmless now feel consequential. Words feel heavier. Timing feels important. This is the effect of intention settling in. When someone decides internally that something matters, they begin to protect it instinctively. My beloved soul, you may notice that your own intuition is becoming more sensitive during this phase. You might feel moments of calm followed by moments of uncertainty, not because something is wrong, but because you are perceiving movement without seeing form yet. This can feel confusing if you expect immediate clarity, but this stage is not about answers, it is about alignment. Your person is learning how to hold this connection without fear. Fear has shaped many of their past experiences, even if they did not always recognize it. Fear of being seen, fear of being hurt, fear of repeating old mistakes. Your honesty softened those fears, but it did not erase them overnight. What it did was create safety, and safety allows fear to loosen gradually. They are also reflecting on how they have shown up in the past, not with shame, but with honesty. They are asking themselves whether they can meet you at the level you deserve, not the level that feels easiest. This self-examination is not self-criticism, it is growth. Growth always happens quietly before it becomes visible. My beloved soul, this is why the universe is asking you to remain steady rather than reactive. When two people are aligning internally at the same time, impatience can distort perception. Silence can be misread. Stillness can be mistaken for distance. But this stillness is not emptiness. It is preparation happening on both sides. You may feel tempted to analyze every small signal, every pause, every shift in tone. When that urge arises, return to what you know to be true. Your honesty was seen, it was felt, it mattered. Nothing that matters disappears without reason. What is real may pause, but it does not vanish. Your person is also becoming aware of the responsibility that comes with approaching you. They know that if they step forward, it must be with sincerity. Half-truths woo. Feel like betrayal now. Mixed intentions would feel dishonest. This awareness is shaping their choices more than you realize. My beloved soul, there is also a strengthening happening within you during this phase. Even if you do not consciously notice it, your capacity to remain grounded without reassurance is growing. You are learning that your worth does not depend on immediate response or constant confirmation. This inner stability is essential, because true connection thrives when both souls stand on their own, not when one leans in fear. You may notice that your energy feels clearer, less anxious, less scattered. This is not coincidence. When intention stabilizes on one side, it creates balance on the other. Energy seeks equilibrium. The calm you are feeling is a sign that alignment is occurring beneath the surface. Your person may begin to imagine future moments with you, not as fantasy, but as possibility. Simple moments, conversations, shared silence. These thoughts do not overwhelm them, they comfort them. This is how you know the connection is rooted in reality, not illusion. Fantasy excites, reality grounds. My beloved soul, understand that this phase is not about proving anything. It is about allowing what has already been recognized to integrate fully. Rushing would disrupt that integration. Patience allows it to settle into something stable rather than fleeting. If doubt tries to surface, remember this: honesty does not create confusion. It creates clarity, even if that clarity takes time to express itself. What you offered was real, what they felt was real, and reality moves with intention, not haste. You may choose to acknowledge this phase quietly. A comment, a reflection, a moment of self-awareness can help anchor your patience. And if staying connected to messages like this supports your steadiness, subscribing can be a gentle reminder that you are not alone in the unfolding. These actions are not demands, they are choices of presence. What comes next will bring expression to what has been forming internally. Intention does not remain hidden forever. It eventually seeks movement, communication, and form. For now, trust the alignment that is taking place. Trust the care that is being exercised. Trust the growth that honesty has initiated. Remain open, my beloved soul. You are not waiting in emptiness. You are standing in preparation, and preparation is often the quietest, yet most important, part of the journey. My beloved soul, this is where everything that has been forming quietly begins to move toward expression. Intention, once stabilized, does not remain hidden forever. It looks for form, it looks for voice, it looks for action that matches the truth already acknowledged within the heart. Your person is reaching that point now, where holding this realization inwardly is no longer enough. They are becoming aware that silence, while protective for a time, cannot replace honesty forever. What they felt when they saw your truth has grown roots, and roots eventually push upward. They may feel a growing urge to speak, to clarify, to step closer in a way that feels deliberate rather than impulsive. This urge is not anxiety, it is alignment asking to be lived. My beloved soul, when honesty meets intention, courage follows. Not reckless courage, but grounded courage, the kind that considers impact, timing, and respect. Your person does not want to approach you from confusion or fear. They want to approach you from clarity, knowing that what they offer is real and what they receive is sacred. You may notice subtle signs of this shift before words arrive, a change in tone, a steadiness in communication, a presence that feels more attentive, more intentional. These are not accidents, they are reflections, an inner decision taking shape. Decisions born from honesty move carefully, not loudly. Your own heart is also being prepared in this phase. You are learning how to receive without overthinking, how to stay open without abandoning yourself, how to trust without losing balance. This preparation matters. True connection does not thrive on urgency or fear. It thrives on mutual stability. My beloved soul, this is why patience has been such a strong theme throughout this unfolding. Patience is not passive waiting. It is active trust. It allows both souls to arrive at the same place emotionally, even if their paths there look different. What is forming now is not fragile. It is being reinforced through care. Your person may feel moments of nervousness as they approach this next step, not because they doubt you, but because honesty carries vulnerability. To acknowledge what they feel is to risk being seen themselves. But your truth has already shown them that vulnerability does not have to be unsafe. It can be grounding. It can be freeing. You may sense a growing sense of readiness within yourself as well. Not desperation, readiness. A calm openness to whatever form this connection takes next. That openness is powerful. It signals to the universe that you are aligned, not grasping. Alignment invites clarity. My beloved soul, remember that no real connection is rushed into being. It emerges when both people are able to meet without masks. Your honesty removed one mask. Their reflection is removing another. This mutual unveiling is what creates depth that lasts. There may still be moments of uncertainty before communication fully unfolds. Allow those moments to pass without feeding them. Uncertainty does not negate truth. It simply reminds you that timing is still in motion. Trust what you know rather than what you fear. Your person is no longer testing. That phase, ended. What remains now is choice. And choice, when guided by honesty, moves steadily toward alignment. Whatever step they take next will be informed by what they felt, not by impulse or illusion. My beloved soul, if you look back on this journey, you will see how quietly everything aligned, how small moments carried great weight, how truth revealed itself without force. This is how meaningful connections grow, not through spectacle but through sincerity. You may take a moment now to ground this understanding. A comment, a reflection, a quiet acknowledgement can help anchor what you have received. And if remaining connected to messages like this helps you stay centered and patient, subscribing is a gentle way to support your awareness as the story continues. This is not the end of the connection. It is the end of uncertainty. What comes next will be shaped by honesty, intention, and courage, and whatever form it takes, it will be real, because it was built on truth from the very beginning. Remain open, my beloved soul. What honesty has revealed cannot be unseen. What intention has formed cannot remain still forever. And what is meant to move forward will do so, in its time, with clarity and care.